Fishy, fishy, fishy. Feed the little fishy.
Morning, folks. Just woke up. It's about 6 a.m. and I'm in a little creek off Port Hacking in the Royal National Park, and I've just done a little sneaky overnighter. Left school at about the usual time, and about 3:45, and had to do a bit of shopping because, as usual, completely unprepared. Oh, got it, Mozzie. Little bloodsucker. Got him. Got her. And yeah, left at 3:45. Had to do the shopping, and sort of left everything to the last minute, and loaded up the car after the shopping, and headed down to South Caringbah. At the end of Burraneer Road, there's actually, it's not even a proper wharf. I used to go to Wally's Wharf. Wally's Wharf's got good facilities, but you're waiting in line with like 100 other power boats and jet skis, especially on a Friday night, and parking would have been a nightmare. So went down to Burraneer Road, and that's actually a Sydney Waterboard driveway that runs down to the bay, down to a bay called Yowie Bay in Port Hacking, and you can launch a kayak there quite easily, or a canoe or anything like that. The gate's locked, but it's just a vehicle gate, so you can just step over it. So if you're launching a yak and you want to head off into Port Hacking, that's probably the best bet. And there's plenty of parking, and it's absolutely not an issue parking wise. So definitely, if you're going to go by kayak, that would be the place to leave from. Anyway, paddled for a good probably 2 solid hours. Biggest problem was that I'd looked at the tides and I'd realised that it was going to be low tide, and Southwest Arm Creek is very, very shallow. So that has its downside, and the downside, of course, is that I had to get out and actually walk and pull the kayak for part of the trip, little bits of the trip, for not much of it, but parts of it. But that also has its advantages, and the advantage is that even jet skis could not get up to where I am now. So, or when at low tide at least. So when I got here, I was the only person here, and haven't heard or seen hide nor hair of any other person. So that is a great thing when you get out, and if you want to get away from people. You go up somewhere where it's really shallow. They're not going to follow you. And yeah, the bottom of the creek's quite sandy, so it wasn't muddy or anything, so I wasn't sort of traipsing through mud. And got here, it's still light, and set up camp. So I'll show you camp in a few minutes, and make myself some breakfast and get going, because I really want to get home and have that elusive cup of coffee, because when I did the shopping, forgot the coffee. Brought the coffee maker. Still haven't christened it. I've got a nice French press that I could have set up, but unfortunately didn't bring the coffee. Bye. So this is the campsite that I've set up. You can see here we've got the clothes drying on the fly line, and yep, I set up a tight fly line between these two trees here, and we set up the Siam hammock. And yeah, like I've said in previous videos, I will never sleep in a tent ever again, because if I have the choice between a tent and a hammock, it's always going to be a hammock. It's a great thing to sleep in. And came down in the .65N Kayak. That sounds like I'm doing an advertising run here for various camping products. Unfortunately, I'm not getting any money to recommend these products. But yeah, like I was saying, hammocks is the way to go. It doesn't matter which one, just pick a good one. This is a .65N kayak, and one of the great things about this this kayak that I really like is that you can section it, you can take it apart. And today, because I had to come all the way from down there with the kayak, I had to get out and actually climb up onto those rocks and then come across this little creek here. It was going to make life very difficult for me, and it was fully laden, and I didn't want to take stuff out of the little holds here at the front of the front section, at the back of the back section. So what I did was I just pulled it apart and carried each half over. So if you're old like me and decrepit, it is definitely the way to go, a kayak that you can section. But yeah, not a difficult place to stay, a very beautiful place. And yeah, like I said, I've had a nice overnighter, and I will be heading off shortly and getting back to civilization. But it's a great thing that in Sydney you can actually be in the middle of nowhere in a very short period of time, and that's one of the great things about living in Sydney. We're really blessed. If you're into bushwalking or kayaking or any of those sort of outdoor pursuits, you're a very lucky person to be living in Sydney, or in Australia for that matter. I'm sure that there'd be plenty of people overseas who would look at this video with envy and think, wow. And the other thing that's great about Australia, of course, is that you know, I can string my hammock up in the middle of nowhere and not be worried about a bear coming to eat me, or any other large carnivorous animals. Anyway, I shall have some breakfast, I think, and start packing up.
You're probably wondering why I use such crappy music. It's so I can avoid copyright. Because if I use someone else's music, YouTube can detect it, and then they shut the sound off on my videos. And that really pisses me off.
Now, I've been told that the SJ Cam H10 is waterproof, so I always said that I wasn't going to give it a test. But you know what? I'm thinking, what the heck? Nothing ventured, nothing gained. So yeah, I'm going to go for a swim now and give it a test. Wish me luck. I'll just switch off the iPhone first. I have got a waterproof cover on the iPhone, which is what I use to record sound, because the sound's so bad on this camera. But I will be avoiding taking that in with me. So anyway, we'll see how it goes. Any bet, it's bloody cold. Woohoo! It's cold. Yes, it is cold. Very cold. Okay.
lonely days are long. Twilight sings a song of the happiness that used to be. Soon my eyes will close, soon I'll find repose, and in dreams you're always near to me. Stuffed it up, but I'll see you in my dreams. Hold you in my dreams. Someone took you out of my arms. Still I feel the thrill of your charms. Okay, I cut my finger when I was on this trip, and that's why I'm playing badly. That's the real reason. Not that I'm crap or anything. Bye.